Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video here today with MyTeam Career Part 5, preparing for the Canadian Grand Prix. Last time out we were in Azerbaijan and we got our first points of the season, which came as a bit of a surprise. I was expecting it to take a bit longer than that to get points, but yeah, just happened to get lucky with our one stop and all the guys in front doing two stops, so yeah, that worked out in our favour. You can see here, we've got a bit of money and we actually purchased a resource points generation boost there for our aerodynamics facility, which will hopefully get us a bit closer towards that Spec 2 facility and help us get some more upgrades in. We do have a few upgrades coming in. You can see on the right hand side there, predicted sort of position with when those upgrades come in. And we do have a lot of resource points actually, so we are going to be having a quick little look through to see if we can get any more upgrades on the car. We're not going to get anything in before Canada because it's only a couple of days between last round at Azerbaijan and this time out. But you can see we have a 20% discount here on this front wing flap, which will give us some drag reduction. So we are going to purchase that. 40% chance of failure. It'll come in hopefully before the French Grand Prix there if we don't have any issues with the part. And yeah, just having a quick scroll through, we've got 1,100, but we've got too many aero upgrades coming in at once now, so we can't purchase any more of them. So just having a quick little scroll through here just to see if there's anything else we can do. And yeah, there's not really too much. We have to really focus on getting those facilities upgraded. You can see we've got a durability one here. It's the only durability upgrade that we are actually able to purchase. And beyond that, we're going to have to try and unlock some stuff. But we can't even upgrade the turbo now anyway because we've already got other stuff happening. You can see just quickly scrolling back to the chassis, trying to get the roll dampers there, which we are able to do, which will also come in just before the French Grand Prix, hopefully. And there's nothing I can do in the engine, actually. We've done all the upgrades we possibly can. So from this point on, it looks like we're going to have to really focus on getting those facilities upgraded. But we do have to keep in mind that I don't think it's too long, only a few rounds, and we're going to have to rehire our teammate Matsushita, so we can't be spending all our money. But that's it. Time to move on to the Monaco Grand Prix here. Nothing else really to do in terms of admin work. You can see we do skip forward to the weekend, and having a look at our history, we don't move up, but we stay in line with Haas there. And actually zooming right in on the pixels, it looks like we do slightly close in. But it's really not going to be much. We're still under him, but we do close right up to Alfa Romeo, so looks like there's going to be a bit of a three-way fight now between us, Haas and Alfa. But something else interesting to look at was McLaren now basically in line with Red Bull, similar to how we are with Haas. So yeah, the McLaren really making a lot of steps forward at this point, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're actually challenging for wins soon. But you can see skipping through practice, and just like last time out, it went really well for us here. I got every single program done completely, 100%, with heaps of time to go in third practice. As you're going to see here in a minute, I got very lucky with the 25 and 50%, and yeah, you can see heaps of time, about 20 minutes left there in practice one, and yeah, you can see maximum resource points there. We get about 600, and that puts us back over 1,000 resource points, so we're actually getting more resource points than we're actually able to spend already. So yeah, definitely need to focus on those facilities. You can see they're getting some more discounts. They got a lot of development boosts. So yeah, definitely a big positive here. All ready for this weekend here in Canada. Canada, a track I like quite a bit. And I normally don't like Azerbaijan, and we scored points there. So hopefully this time out we might actually be able to replicate our success. But you can see Team Acclaim almost getting level 4 there. I'm very close in driver acclaim. Matsushita goes up to level 7, and we're very close to level 7 team acclaim as well. So yeah, everything's moving ahead slightly, which is good to see. We're actually making progress, and we're going to move on to qualifying now. It's very low chance of rain. We haven't had a proper wet session yet this season. It's going to be interesting to see how this car does handle in the wet, but yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see for that. You can see jumping straight into our first quali lap. It wasn't the best, to be honest. You can see I've got some slightly worn components there. I think doing the quick practice actually makes the components wear very quickly. So I don't know if I should do a proper practice session instead of doing the quick practice. We'll have to wait and see. Durability is definitely going to have to be a big focus, so if it stays as it is. But you can see we're down in 22nd after that first quali lap. It was very close. I think it was .066 to Mazepin and we had Latifi between us as well, so yeah, definitely very close at the back of the field here. But as we fly through the last chicane there, we find about a second, and as we cross the line, is it going to be enough? It's not quite. We're going to go P18, so missing out just again. And yeah, here's the results. You can see Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris actually going P1 and 2 in the first qualifying session, so McLaren definitely taking those strides I was talking about earlier, but you can see only just missing out there. Mick Schumacher only about half a tenth ahead of us, and he gets through Matsushita down in P21, so it's actually very, very close at the back of the field here. So yeah, I feel like all the cars at the back are sort of closing in on the midfield, so the fight to get into points could be very crucial. You can see rivalry breakdown, we do get an extra point over Mazepin there, which helps us break even again after that qualifying we had last time out at Azerbaijan, and we sort of fell behind there. But yeah, you can see driver acclaim, we do actually go up to level 4 there, so that helps with our percentage boost there. Matsushita there, not really moving forward too much, but team acclaim does go up to level 7 there, so getting very close to that level 10 already, which will unlock us a secondary sponsor, which will bring in some more money, get the facilities going. But time to move on to the race.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average lap speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1, so how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Norris, Charles Leclerc and Verstappen, Sainz, Perez, Gasly and Sebastian Vettel, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Mick Schumacher and Raikkonen, Benjamin, Mazepin, George Russell and Yuki Tsunoda, Matsushita, Latifi, Stroll and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Yes, let's hope we can get some more points this time out. You can see it's looking like it's going to be a two-stop race here, going from the softs to the mediums again. Just playing around with it here to see if I could try and get a one-stop, because that's what got us those points last time out. But it looks like the two-stop's going to be the quicker way for us here this time out. Just putting the fuel down. Remembering that email that we got last time out, saying we could use less fuel, so we're doing that. And you can see here we're actually going to check the race director to see what other guys are starting on. Very interesting to see Lando Norris starting on the hard tyres alongside Sebastian Vettel there, Schumacher on the mediums, so is Mazepin, so both the Haas on the mediums there, and Latifi actually on the hard. So those guys I imagine are going to be trying to push for a one stop, but according to all our data and stuff, it looks like two stops going to be the quick way to go. So hopefully the team have got that right. It'd be a shame to see one of these cars around us starting on the harder compound get points when we don't. But we're just gonna have to go with what the team says here, and hopefully it all goes well. But you can see we're gonna move on to the race now, as we have 5 red lights going on, everyone sitting on the grid getting ready to go, and it's a pretty good start for us here, actually pulling up alongside Raikkonen, that is, sorry, not Gio, and we've got Schumacher on the outside. We're going to dive it to the inside, And we do get down the inside of the hassle there. He's on the outside. He's on the harder tyres though. We're going to go right around the outside at turn 2. Sebastian Vettel here on the hard, so hopefully we have the pace on him. We're going to dive to the inside for the chicane. Are we able to get the move? We do. We make a slight bit of contact there with the German, but we are able to make the position. So immediately up into P12 here from P15 on the grid. Another good start for us, and now you can see we both got both the Alpines ahead, so it'll be interesting to see if we can maybe get ahead of them. We were able to last time out in Azerbaijan, so yeah, pretty good start for us. You can see we've got Schumacher actually right behind us, so he was able to get through on Sebastian Vettel as well. And yeah, he's trying to capitalise on this position just like we are. I don't know if Schumacher's trying to go for a one-stop. He's on the medium, so he could just be doing a sort of alternate strategy to what we're doing, or he could be trying to go mediums to hards later on in the race. It'll be interesting to see what different strategy these guys come up with, but you can see we are closing right in on the back of Esteban Ocon now as we head down the back straight, and we're actually going to try and go for a move here. He defends, so we cut to the outside, go around the outside of the first out of the chicane, get very close to the wall. We have to get right out of it to make sure we don't actually hit that wall of champions there. And now Ocon trying to go down the inside of turn 1. And he does. We hold it around the outside. There's a bit of contact there as he goes a bit deep on the brakes. He gives us the inside for turn 2, and we do pull back ahead of Ocon there in the Alpine. So, yeah, very fast here. You can see, unfortunately, that allowed Alonso to get ahead. But we are up into P11 now, and all it would take is one of the cars in front of us to retire, and we'd be in the points. So, I did say I like Canada before, and here we are in P11, very close to some points, but we do still have Esteban Ocon behind us, and he is on soft, so it's not like we have a tyre advantage over him. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to push to keep him behind me, but hopefully the cars ahead have some sort of issue, or they battle away, and we are able to close in. So you can see we are actually closing in on the cars behind us. We have a massive moment through that final chicane. They're very lucky to have not hit the wall and gotten any sort of damage. But we are actually closing in on that gap, as I was just saying. So, yeah, we might be on for some points here.
Some information on Norris. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
So that could be very good for us as well. Lando Norris, remember, he was starting on the hards and he was right up there. He was in P2 or P3. And, yeah, now he's got some sort of issue, and he's going to be holding this pack up, and we are actually right on the back of Alonso now as we head on to lap 7. We are going to have a look down the inside into turn 1. We do get the move done. We do go a bit deep, though, getting our inside wheels on the grass, and he tries to go around the outside, but we do pull the move off, and that is us up into P10, and just ahead of us is the group being held up by Lando Norris, and they're all trying to move through now, but we are now on the back of the young Brit, so yeah, it's looking like P9 is going to be on the table here. He's on the hards and has an issue, so hopefully we have the pace to actually overtake here. Catching is one thing, but overtaking is definitely another. And as we head through onto lap 8 here, you can see through the final chicane, taking it nice and easy to make sure I don't touch him. And he actually gets a massive tank slapper on the exit there, and that allows us to easily make our way through here on Lando Norris. And we are going to be pitting in this lap on lap 9, so yeah, this race looking very good for us at the moment. I'm not going to catch Perez and Gasly ahead by the looks of things. Those cars are still a lot quicker than our car here, but to be in P9 is very good, and hopefully Norris actually holds up the Alpines there. So, yeah, at the moment, as I've said a couple times already, the race is looking very good for us here, and it looks like we could be getting points 2 races in a row, which would be absolutely amazing. But you can see now, end of the lap, we are going to come into the pit lane for our first of 2 pit stops. So yeah, that's something to remember as well. There are a few cars on different strategies, and I feel like they're going to be pushing for a 1-stop, so it'll be very crucial here. But as you can see, this wasn't planned. We've got a front wing change which is wasting away a bunch of time. That's cost us about 5 extra seconds, and it's allowed Fernando Alonso to get back ahead. So I'm not sure what that happened. I do have the setting on auto, but I didn't get any front wing damage anywhere, unless it's a similar thing to round 1 where we had a bit of damage, but we were never informed of it, or it wasn't showing on the MFD. So that really sucks there. You can see we're back out in P19 now, right behind Latifi, so we actually almost pulled a whole pit stop on Latifi. Well, we did pull a pit stop on Latifi, but the front wing change there just really screwed us over, and you can see Alonso is about 4 seconds ahead now, so that could be very crucial. That could have very possibly cost us points here in this race. Everything was looking so good, but yeah, unfortunately, it was set on auto. That's just what it default sets to. I don't know if you can change the default. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. You see Matsushita into the pit this lap, but yeah, it should have a different setting to have set it to no, because really I didn't notice any sort of difference in aero there. And you can see as we come through the next lap, Ocon's actually going to get out ahead of us now, as he has the better line out of turn 2 after coming out of the pit lane. So yeah, we've been passed by both Alpines now, and I feel like at this stage of the race now is where the AI sort of starts to pick it up, and we're going to struggle to hold them off. So yeah, it's a shame, but all we can do is push on in the race and just try and make back as many positions as we can, maybe hope for a couple of retirements from the cars ahead. As you can see, a few more cars in the pit lane there. We're through to P13, and actually, we're going to go for a massive dive on Ocon there. We just started really closing the gap. I don't know if he maybe ran out of energy or if he started just charging up a bit too early, but we do get back through, so we're in P12 now. Massive tank slapper out of turn 2, though. But yeah, that helps us. You can see if we're catching right up to Mazepin now. He started on the mediums, and he comes in on lap 12. So that puts us in lap 11. Obviously, Alonso would have been P10 for us if he hadn't gotten through. But yeah, that's just it. Actually, Ocon, out of nowhere, just trying to send it right around the outside. That was never going to work. But yeah, 1 or 2 DNFs for some cars up ahead could put us back in the point. So it's not all over yet. We're definitely going to have to really push to race here. But it looks like Lando Norris has had his issues solved. And you can see for some reason there, Ocon comes in at the end of lap 16. So he was repairing damage, but I don't know where he got the damage. I don't know if maybe he tapped the back of my car without me really noticing or anything. But yeah, you can see now we have Sebastian Vettel coming through, and there's nothing I could really do to stop him. Although you can see Daniel Ricciardo out of the session. He was up in P2 at the time, and yeah, it's just an engine failure. You can see a puff of smoke there as he's got the Ferrari over Leclerc and one of the Mercedes behind him, and there it is, the engine fully going now, and he pulls up there. So, huge shame there for fellow Australian to have had that retirement. Obviously, Norris had that issue earlier. You can see he's got that gone now as he flies past us with no worries. And there was nothing I could really do to stop him. So, we were in P10 after that incident. And now we're back down to P11. You can see Lance Stroll now is the next car to have a go at us here on the back straight, and he's able to easily get through. They're not even trying to dive it back down the inside because he's just had so much more pace than us, and if I defended, it was just going to allow Raikkonen and maybe even Russell to catch up. So yeah, I've just got to hope for maybe a couple more cars to retire or some sort of bad strategy if I want to get points. But at the moment, what looked like to be a pretty fair shot at points has turned into another just outside of the points finish for us. Yeah, this is where our car is. We're not going to be scoring constant points at this point, especially so earlier on. But you can see, coming in for our second pit stop now, I did go in and manually change to a no front wing change here. Wasn't going to make that same mistake twice. But you can see, nice and easy pit stop there. Actually pretty quick there from the guys. And back out in the same position just behind Lance Stroll. Kimi Raikkonen still right behind us. Yeah, you can see we come out in P18. And we're actually going to come out once again right with Latifi. And I was really pushing you to make sure I got out ahead. But yeah, he was just able to. He's on mediums. And I believe he is going to have to make another stop at some point. Points are really not looking very likely now. Although Raikkonen is actually really closing in on us still. So, yeah, we could possibly be dropping even more points. More positions, not points. Yeah, coming to the end of the lap, we are going to get through on Latifi, but it doesn't really mean anything. It's P17 at this point. The engine, keep in mind, the components are also wearing a lot more now at this stage of the race, so we are a bit down on engine power. You see, making out a couple more positions there as we pass the pit lane up into P15, so not bad. Matsushita is right down the back of the field at this point. Yeah, our team at this point, it's in a really weird grey zone where every race it's going to look like we're going to be very possibly getting points, but we just don't quite have the pace. We do now have Kimi Raikkonen right behind us, and actually Yuki Tsunoda as well. You can see we passed Mick Schumacher there, which puts us up into P12. So yeah, not too far off, but it's going all right. You can see we cut on to lap 28 here, and Kimi Raikkonen is actually right behind us. He's going to go to the inside here as we head into the chicane. He is going to get ahead, but he's on the inside, so he's got a worse line. We're going to make a cut back here as we head onto the main straight, and we do get ahead of the finish man. But you can see Yuki Tsunoda making the most of the opportunity, and he dives down the inside of Kimi Raikkonen, and now he's right behind us. So yeah, that AlphaTauri is a lot quicker than us, as opposed to the Alfa Romeo. But you can see now we're cutting forward to lap 31, and actually George Russell has got himself into this fight now as he tries to go around the outside of Kimi Raikkonen into turn 2. And this is just going all out. Yuki Tsunoda some clear air to try and chase us. Now he doesn't have to worry about the cars behind. You can see they're still side by side here, going through the chicane and now through the fast right-hander before we head into Sector 2. And they are still side by side as Raikkonen tries to go around the outside. Then Russell has the outside. And they are still side by side, heading down the back straight. Russell gets the DRS. Is he going to be able to pull ahead as they head into the right-left here? They're still side by side as they head through the chicane, and they're still going at it, and this has allowed Esteban Ocon now to get into the battle, and he's going to make it 3 wide now as they head into the hairpin. There's no way they all come out of this unscathed as they go 3 wide through the hairpin, and they are still 3 wide as they now head through the back straight. Mick Schumacher's now going to try and get himself involved in this, although there's no space on track. Russell, the only one there with no DRS, so Ocon and Raikkonen are able to get through, and actually Schumacher sending it down the inside of Russell, and they do sort of soil themselves out there. Raikkonen ahead of Ocon, and then Schumacher, and then Russell. So what an insane lap there that was for those 4. Ocon right on the back of Raikkonen, but he's not able to make a move. So that was insane. I can't believe they all got out of that with no damage. But you can see now we cut to lap 33, and Tsunoda and I are going to have to get out of the way here. Valtteri Bottas actually leading the Grand Prix. He's coming through now to overlap us. So next lap, lap 34, is actually going to be our final lap, which might actually help us sort of fend off the AlphaTauri there. We don't actually have to back out to let Bottas through, whereas Yuki does. So that actually helps us out a lot, as we now have a bit of a gap, although Yuki's still within a second, so he'll have DRS for this final lap. But and actually, no, he doesn't. He pulls into the pit lane just like Ocon did, so just at some point, he's gotten damage, and now we actually get damage as they hit the wall of champions there, and that's going to make this lap very hard. We have Esteban Ocon. He's on fresher mediums, and he's coming for us. He got his way through that group. He did eventually get past Raikkonen. And now for this final lap, we're going to have him chasing us down. You can see already as we head towards the start of Sector 3, he is right behind us. He's actually going to try and go for a move around the outside, heading into the hairpin here. We're going to have the inside, so I'm going to try and hold position. He's going to have DRS down the back straight as he was still behind through the activation zone. And you can see the engine's really worn now, so we've got no engine power, we've got barely any battery left, and Ocon's going to come through very easily. Actually a bit of contact there as I try and sort of squeeze him towards the wall, but he is through to P12. It doesn't really matter in the end, it's for P12 and P13. It just would have been nice to finish a bit higher up, but we are going to finish P13 here in Canada.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Yet another historic win under their belts. Well done to the team at Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Right, so here we are with the results for the Canadian Grand Prix. You can see Bottas winning it ahead of Verstappen and Hamilton. We finish in P13 just behind Ocon, and actually Matsushita DNF from the race. I didn't actually realise that happened. I don't remember seeing the notification for that at all. But yeah, that's a shame there for Matsushita to have gotten his first DNF of the season. You can see we stay in P14 there on 8 points, equal with Yuki Tsunoda, and Matsushita down in P19. Russell made a couple places, but there was no points in it. So, yeah, not a lot happening down this end of the table as we struggle to score points. But you can see Bottas actually leads the championship by quite a while, 26 points over Verstappen. So, yeah, he's not going to lose the championship lead next time out at France. We stay in P8 there in the constructors, though Ferrari actually made a pretty good jump that time up to P4 now. And yeah, none of our rivals, Alpha, Haas, or Williams, scored any points. So that's good news for us. Those 8 points should secure us that at least 10th place finish in the constructors there. As we do now, you can see, get a couple points over Mazepin once again in the rivalry. And yeah, we're about halfway through driver acclaim 4. Matsushita gets some more acclaim, and we get about halfway through team acclaim level 7. So yeah, getting very close to that second secondary sponsor. We do outqualify our rival there as our secondary sponsor bonus, get an extra 110k. And yeah, you can see a bit of damage deductions once again, which is a shame. We do now have very close to 700k, so not quite able to get another facility yet. That's going to take a bit of time, but we do have to make sure we save up money to rehire Matsushita. I do think we're just going to rehire him. It's not really worth trying to hire another F2 driver. I just don't think the F2 drivers are ever going to really get you some very good results, especially earlier on. Maybe if you train them for quite a few seasons, they'll become good enough to maybe even win a championship, but I'm certainly looking at getting a proper F1 driver as our teammate at some point in the future. So yeah, that's it for now. Next one's the French Grand Prix. We've hopefully got a few upgrades coming in. Hopefully they all pass. So yeah, that's it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.